Mitchell freaking Marner, a current alternate captain for the Toronto Maple Leafs, was drafted by the team in 2015, 4th overall. I'm pretty sure I actually played against him in a summer tournament one year. I really wish I could have the list of everyone that was on those teams because it would be probably insane. It's pretty much just pick and choose. You know, if you ask someone and they say yes, then you register the team. I was talking to my friend about this recently because we had Connor McDavid on our team, and I'm sure there was some other people on there that I just cannot remember, but obviously he stands out the most. I mean, his dad was the coach, so he probably knows more about it than I do. Anyways, we made it to the finals, but then McDavid couldn't make it to the finals and we lost. And I believe my friend was telling me he remembers that Marner was on the other team. So that'd be crazy, but I believe it because that tournament, I had no right being there. Connor probably couldn't make it to the finals because he was doing some NHL interview at the age of like 11. Anyways, let's see what EA thinks is going to happen in Mitch Marner's career. So I feel like a lot of us probably know the current Maple Leaf lineup situation. He'll be on the first line with Nylander and Tavares starting this season though. So there we go. That's what EA's doing first off here. He's got that 6-year, $10.37 million contract, the Maple Leafs defenseman, and of course, they've got Freddie in net, backed up by none other than Jack Campbell. So the Toronto Maple Leafs are going to make a trade here to acquire Derek Brassard, 82 overall, trying to make a little bit of a push, but it didn't work out. They finished with 88 points and 40 wins. I was going to say regulation wins, but someone got upset with me for that, so I'm going to try to stop saying that because it's not regulation wins, okay? They could have won in overtime. Marner, only going to play 68 games this year, but he's going to put up a nice amount of points, so you can't really complain about that, if you know what I mean. Here are some of the top performers for this season, and the Pittsburgh Penguins are going to be the Stanley Cup champions. Here are your individual trophies. Mitchell going home empty-handed this year team-wise and individually. Here are the free agents. We got Taylor Hall up at the top there, Dadonov as well, Shattenkirk, so pretty decent free agent list this year, and here's your goalies. Year 2, Marner going to be playing with a 92 overall John Tavares, and Will Nye, the hockey guy, is going to be on the left side there. Marner, obviously, first line right wing, not a big deal. Here's the defense, not changed up very much. And we got Freddie, who is down to an 86 overall. You hate to see it, but that's not going to stop the team from finishing 6th in the entire league with 107 points, getting them first in the Atlantic Division. Mitch Marner, only going to play 78 games this year, going to put up 76 points, so he's still performing pretty well, but not as well as I would really expect him to. But, you know, he's still got tons of time to heat up here. There's your top performers for the year, and the Toronto Maple Leafs are going to win the Stanley Cup. So, you know what, early on here, Marner is going to win a Stanley Cup. That's probably the earliest we've seen one be obtained in one of these simulations. They didn't even have a challenge against the Predators in the finals there. 4-1. All right, 5 games is all it took for them to wipe out the Preds. Here are your offensive free agents for the year, and Pekka Rinne headlining the goaltender free agents. There would not be a single player retiring this year with over 1,000 points. All right, guys, you know the drill by now. Tavares, 94 freaking overall. Playing with Will Nye, the hockey guy. Marner still on the right side over there. 91 overall. Defense looking as such, pretty much similar, or it could be the same. Honestly, I'm not keeping complete mental tabs on it, but it looks like it could definitely be the same, minus some overall changes. Anyway, the Leafs going to finish first in the NHL this year, taking home a President's Trophy. Okay, Marner going to have a crazy year, getting 101 points in 80 games played. Tavares, his line mate, leading the league with 117 points, but Marner is in 4th in the entire league as well. So certainly a tremendous season for him. So as you can see there, yes, the Washington Capitals are your Stanley Cup champions, but the Maple Leafs did win the President's Trophy, so that's good stuff. Marner's line mate, John Tavares, doing very well for himself this year. Toronto would be eliminated in the first round by the Pittsburgh Penguins, but they would go the distance to 7 games. And Maple Leafs legend Patrick Marleau, as well as Maple Leafs legend Jason Spezza, retiring this year. Here are your free agents for this year. A pretty huge free agent list. Barkov, Braden Point up at the top there. And we got Tristan Jarry and Corpi Salo for goaltenders. The line remains together. Will Nye, Johnny T, and Marner still together. Timothy Liljegren really hopping up there, and overall I saw Mac Hollowell down there as well, making, I think, his debut. Freddie still the starting goaltender. The Leafs would finish with 94 points this year, 44 wins, getting them 4th in the Atlantic Division, but 14th in the entire NHL. Marner would lead the team in points this year, getting 101 points. All right, not a big deal. 82 games played. He played the full season this year. Seguin going to lead the entire league in points with 111. Marner once again right up there, though. He finished 4th, right below Seguin, Eichel, and McDavid. The Stanley Cup is going to go to the Tampa Bay Lightning. There would be no trophies, team or individual, going home with Marner this year. The Toronto Maple Leafs would be eliminated in the conference finals by the Tampa Bay Lightning, the eventual Stanley Cup champions, in 5 games. And Toronto would also have a 4th overall pick. Could have been 2nd, but no. All right, Minnesota giving them that one. They get a medium elite center two-way forward there at 74 overall. Ilya Kovalchuk headlining the retirees this year. Pasternak, Monahan, Larkin, O'Reilly, a pretty huge free agent class this year. We also got Thatcher Demko and Dave Riddick for the goalies. Marner going to be trying out a new centerman here for the first time in this simulation. He's going to have Austin Matthews in the middle. We still got Will Nye on the left side. The defense looking like this. And Freddie still the starter with Joseph Woll as the backup. The Leafs going to finish 6th in the entire league and 3rd in the Atlantic this year, getting 106 points. So a pretty successful year team-wise as well as individually. Marner going to put up 89 points in 79 games. Matthews putting up 121. I think he's enjoying that first line just a little bit, wouldn't you say? All right. So yeah, huge year for the team, huge year individually. The Edmonton Oilers are going to be your Stanley Cup champions. Marner's line mate, once again, going to go home with a trophy, but not so much for Marner. The Leafs are going to be eliminated in round number 1, taking 6 games against the Buffalo Sabres. Pretty big retiring class this year. Jumbo Joe headlining with 1,697 points. Malkin up there as well. Ovechkin is the biggest free agent this year. Teravainen and Hanifin up there. And we got Demko and Riddick back for the goalies. The line remains, and I can't really blame them after last season. I'd keep it together too. All right, Marner on his last year of that contract now with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Freddie Anderson still the starter all the way down to 82 overall now, but that is not going to stop the team from lighting up the league this year. 60 wins, 1st in the Atlantic, and taking home another President's Trophy. Marner going to put up 111 points in 81 games. Matthews almost tying last season, putting up 120 this year. So that line is absolutely going banana lands. Buffalo Sabres going to be your Stanley Cup champions this year. Although it was a tremendous season, there would be no individual trophies going home with Marner, and the Leafs would be eliminated in round number 1 by the Pittsburgh Penguins, taking 7 games. Patrice Bergeron headlining the retiring list this year, 1,218 points. Getzlav right there as well. And as you can see, Marner is testing out free agency this year at 92 overall. Dave Riddick still the top cheese when it comes to goalies. Now entering year number 7, Marner's going to sign a 7-year, $12.4 million contract with the Islanders. So that's a pretty big contract there. The offense for this team actually looking pretty solid. Defense also looking like it could get the job done. They got Tristan Jarry as the starter and Skinner as the backup. However, the Islanders would finish last in the Metro this year and finish 30th in the entire NHL, getting 70 points. Not a great season, but Marner making the best of it, getting 89 points, playing the full season, 82 games this year. Here are the top point getters. Seguin up there yet again. McDavid, pretty much the usual suspects. The Anaheim Ducks are going to be your Stanley Cup champions. Marner would not be going home with any individual trophies, but as you saw there, one of his teammates certainly did. The Islanders would also get bumped back from 2nd pick to 4th. Draft lottery, not a big fan right now, but they'd get a medium elite defensive defenseman at the 4th spot, so a good pickup. Blake Wheeler, the top retiree point-wise this year. Crosby is a free agent, as well as John Tavares and Ovechkin. That is a huge free agent list. Marner will be playing with Josh Ho-Sang and Matthew Barzal as his centerman. He is now 92 overall on the right side there. First line, of course. Defense still looking pretty good for this team, in my opinion. Tristan Jarry now up to 83 overall at that starting spot. They also beef up their defense a little bit more, getting rid of 2 first-round picks and picking up 85 overall Jake Bean. But they would just miss out on the playoffs, and I mean just. Getting 91 points this year, 5th in the Metropolitan and 15th in the entire NHL. Marner also having one of his weaker years, playing 71 games and putting up 68 points. Matthews still tearing it up for the Leafs, though. That would be Marner's old line mate, of course. The Buffalo Sabres are your Stanley Cup champions, and Matthews rubbing in it a little bit more here, taking home some more individual trophies. Nothing for Marner, though. Patrick Kane, 1,513 points. Giroux, Carlson, and Marchand also up there for the retiring list this year. Pettersson and Svechnikov up there, as well as Dahlin. 392 overall players are the headlining free agents this year, and an 85 overall goalie named Zykov. Year 9, a bit of a switch up here. I don't even know if it's how it's pronounced, but I'm gonna call him Cools anyway, because it's just a cool name. So he's got Cools, the new left winger there. Defense still looking pretty solid. Tristan is 83 overall, and Freddie Anderson reuniting with Marner as the backup. The Islanders gonna make the playoffs this year, 94 points, 5th in the Metropolitan and 12th in the entire league. And Marner is going to pop back on the point-a-game plus train here, playing 82 games and getting 88 points this year, so another successful season for him. McKinnon putting up 140 points with Rantanen 129. That is ludicrous. St. Louis Blues going to be your Stanley Cup champions this year. And here's the playoff tree. As you can see, the Islanders were swept in the first round by the Pittsburgh Penguins. You hate to see it. Logan Couture, the top point getter for the retiring list this year. Jamie Benn just behind him. Pettersson back on the free agent list. Same with Stamkos and Kucherov. Richmond, high elite. Okay, I see you. 90 overall as well. Matt Murray, the top goaltender this year. Now entering double digits, year 10, Marner's going to be playing with Cools and Barzal yet again. The defense still looking very good, in my opinion. Goaltenders, they got Tristan Jarry, 83, and Lennox. Or is it Lennox? I'm just kidding. It's probably Leno. All right, that's definitely a silent X. But anyway, here's a trade for you. Let's throw that out there. The Islanders, 97 points, 5th in the Metro and 12th in the entire league this year. Barzal going to be the top point getter, but Marner going to get 85 points in 78 games. So a good season for him yet again. Pettersson, the free agent. I guess a good signing for Florida there. Going to have the most points in the entire NHL this year, so good for him. The Pittsburgh Penguins going to be your Stanley Cup champions. And here we go. Here are the trophies. Nothing for Marner, unfortunately. And if you look at the playoff tree, the Islanders would be eliminated in round number 2 by the Ottawa Senators. Ovechkin, 1,974 points and 1,090 goals. Are you kidding me? And Backstrom retiring with them. That is poetic, honestly. Richmond up there, 91 overall now. Here's the free agents, though, overall for offense, or actually I should just say players. Got to stop saying offense. Why do I keep doing that? Shesterkin, the top goaltender this year. Year number 11, Barzal, Cools, and Marner going to be line mates yet again here. Defense, we see that guy they drafted earlier on, Levasseur. I have no idea how that's pronounced. I butchered that massively, and I don't care. The Islanders getting 92 points this year, finishing 3rd in the Metro and 13th in the entire NHL. So the team consistently making the playoffs now. Marner only going to play 60 games but put up 77 points. Imagine if this psychopath played the entire season. Okay, that would have been ridiculous how many points he probably would have got. All right, but we can't just do what ifs here. We got to go with the facts. So we see that the Islanders made it to the finals this year, but the Winnipeg Jets clearly defeated them, and it only took 5 games, as you can see from this here playoff tree. So that's unfortunate, but at least they made it to the finals. Crosby, 2,229 points. What the hell is that? Kessel up there as well. And so is Marner's old line mate, John Tavares. Here are the free agents for this year. Ilya Samsonov, 89 overall, headlining the goalies. In year 12, Marner's going to have a completely new set of line mates here with Victor Olofsson and Sillinger in the middle. And spoiler alert, this year is absolutely filthy for the Islanders. They'd finish first in the Metro and first in the entire NHL with 117 points, 56 wins on the year. Marner going to put up 103 points in 82 games. Barzal, Sillinger, and Cools also all did very, very well. As you can see in the overall league points list, they are up there as well. So they clearly performed, and the team overall succeeded. The Islanders going to get a Stanley Cup here, as well as a President's Trophy, and Marner's going to go home with a Conn Smythe. This year is ridiculous. Holy crap. The finals of the Stanley Cup is going to be a sweep against the Vancouver Canucks. You hate to see it. A sweep is not what anyone wants to see. A big retiring class this year, and also a big free agent list. We got Matthews, but Kings of Leon, 96 overall, the top free agent this year. That is absolutely unbelievable. Just an incredible line being formed here. Avengers assemble. Marner going to be on the left side this year, but he's going to be playing with Sillinger and Cools, who's taking the right side. Marner on his last year of the $12.4 million contract. Defense still looking decent. Goalies not looking decent. Let's be honest. The Islanders are going to finish 8th in the Metropolitan Division this year and 28th in the entire league, but that's not going to stop Marner. No, sir, it's not. 82 games played, 92 points. He still did pretty good. Here are the top point getters in the entire league this year. The Boston Bruins are going to be your Stanley Cup champions. There would be no individual and, of course, no team hardware going home with Marner this year. McKinnon headlining the retiring list this year with 1,690 points. Gensel up there as well. Rantanen is a free agent, but so is Harrington and Healy. Okay, and we got Shaw as the headlining goalie. To start off year 14, Marner's going to be paired with Sillinger and Butler. Okay, the offense overall for this team looking pretty good. Marner signed another $10 million contract for 1 year with the team, even though they finished absolutely abysmal last year. The goaltender situation not the strongest, but the Islanders somehow going to pull through, getting 95 points, finishing 10th in the entire league and 2nd in the Metropolitan Division. They also got Nikolai Ehlers up there with 103 points. He led the team, but Marner going to put up 100 himself, so he is not having a poor year, that's for sure. Here are the top point getters. The LA Kings are your Stanley Cup champions, although it was a pretty good year for Marner and the team overall. Nothing going home hardware-wise. The Islanders would be eliminated in round number 1 by the Washington Capitals, taking 5 games. Kucherov, the top retiree this year with 1,485 points, and Rantanen up there as well. We got Jack Eichel and DeBrincat headlining the why do I keep saying that? I gotta stop saying that. I'm ending it with this, just so I know I gotta stop saying that. In year 15, the Islanders decide to reunite the super line here. Marner, now 36 years old, 88 overall, but he's going to be playing with Sillinger and Cools, and he signed another 1-year deal worth $9.9 million. The defense very front heavy, and the goaltender situation certainly not ideal, but somehow, some way, keep coming up with funky ass stuff like every single day. So the Islanders going to finish first in the entire league, 57 wins on the year, 122 points. A very good season for the team and a very good season individually for Marner. In fact, his best, 104 points this year in 80 games. That line is ridiculous. You can even see here in the entire league stats that clearly they gave some goalies some tans on the back of their neck this year from that red light going off. The Los Angeles Kings are your Stanley Cup champions, and unfortunately, a bunch of individual trophies are going home with Marner's line mates, but nothing was shared with Marner. That's a sad, sad story. The Islanders going to be eliminated in the conference finals by the Ottawa Senators in 6 games, and Marner is going to decide to call it quits this year at the age of 37, getting 1,577 points in 1,408 games, 1,058 assists. On top of this, Marner would play 162 playoff games and put up 182 points. I'm really hoping I got these stats right, but I'm sure if I didn't, there will be someone out there who's going to let me know that I did not get it right. Anyway, Marner's best season was 104 points. His last season there with the Islanders would actually be it. The year before retiring was his best season. That's pretty crazy. On top of that, Marner won 2 Stanley Cups, 1 with the Toronto Maple Leafs and 1 with the Islanders. He also won a Conn Smythe with the Islanders, and throughout his career, he won 4 President's Trophies, so not a big deal. Marner only played for 2 teams here in this simulation, and that would be Toronto, obviously, previously, and then he ended up signing for the New York Islanders in free agents after his contract with the Leafs expired. When it comes to all-time points, including people retiring in this simulation, including Crosby getting 2,229 points, Ovechkin with 1,974, we got Stamkos with 1,751, Sagan with 1,724, Jumbo Joe ended up retiring with 1,697, and McKinnon retired with 1,690. But without further ado, let's get to where he finished. So finishing at the 19th spot, all-time points here is Phil the Thrill, Cheeseburger, Hamburger, you can call him whatever you want. He got 1,636 points, 755 goals, 881 assists in 1,894 games played. In the 21st position, we've got Barkov finishing with 1,525 points, 591 goals, 934 assists in 1,601 games played. And then we got Marner finishing in the 20th spot with 1,577 points, getting 519 goals, 1,058 assists in 1,408 games. So he played significantly less games than those above him, as well as Barkov below him. I don't know. Overall, I'd say it was a pretty damn good simulation for Marner. Okay, so there we go. That's it. Next week, we are going to be doing Ilya Samsonov. You guys, I saw a comment to do a goalie, and there might have been multiple. I'm not sure. I don't exactly remember, but that's what we're going to be doing. So be on the lookout for that.